to start. So that's why I cut my ego as a hair so that I can focus on my uh, aims and I can do exactly what I want. That's why I cut hair this much. It's too much smooth. You can see as I am bald. It's okay, fine. As last day, we currently we are reading book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and this is day 23 of improving my communication skill via reading book. And as we have completed almost one half of first chapter of Rich Dad Poor Dad, as we reached lesson hashtag one, the rich dad don't work for money. So as as you know, okay, we are in a, I am in my home, so I have no exact time, and I'm little bit so confused when mom and someone comes and asks what are you doing like that. That's why I will read books whenever I have a time without coming online, so that I can do other things on live sessions. So as I have one other works, so I'm busy for that till to 6th October, so that I'm reading the book online less, and I will read whenever I have time, no matter at what. So okay, fine. So now I've read one part, and now I'm going to start with avoiding one of lab's bigger trap. Okay, biggest avoiding one of lab's biggest traps. Well, you boys had better start thinking. You are staring at one of lab's biggest lessons. If you learn it, you will enjoy a life of great freedom and security. If you don't, you will wind up like Mrs. Martin and most of people playing softball in this park. They work very hard for little money, clinging to the illusion of job security and looking forward to a 3 week vacation each year and maybe a skimpy pensions after 45 years of service. If that if that exists, I will give you a rise of 25 cent at hour an hour. But these are good, hard-working people. Are you making fun of them? I demanded. A smile came over Rich Dad's face. Mrs. Martin is like a mother to me. I would never be that cruel. I may sound unkind because I am doing my best to point something out to the two of you. I want to expand your point of view so you can see something most people never have the benefit of seeing because their vision is too narrow. Most people never see the trap they are in. Mike and I sat there uncertain of his message. I sounded cruel, yet we could sense he was trying to drive home a point. With a smile, Rich Dad said, Doesn't that 25 cent with a smile, Rich Dad said, Doesn't that 25 cents an hour sound good? Doesn't it make your heart beat a little faster? I shook my head no, but it really did. 25 cents an hour would be big buck to me. Okay, I will pay you $1 an hour, which Dad said with a sly grin. Now my heart started to race. My brain was screaming, Take it, take it. I could not believe what I was hearing. Still, I said nothing. Okay, $2 an hour. My little brain and heart nearly exploded. After all, it was 1956, and being paid $2 an hour would have made me the richest kid in the world. I couldn't imagine earning that kind of money. I wanted, I wanted to say yes. I wanted the deal. I could picture new bicycle gloves, baseball gloves, and the adorations of my friends when I placed some cash. On top of that, Jimmy and his rich friends could never call me poor again, but somehow my mouth stayed shut. The ice cream had melted The ice cream had melted and was running down my hand. This dad was looking at two boys staring back at him, eyes wide open and brains empty, empty. He was testing us, and he knew there was a part of our emotion that wanted to take the deal. He understood that very he understood that every person has a weak and needy part of their soul that can be bought, and he knew that every individual also had a part of their soul that was resilient and could never be bought. It was only a question of which one was stronger. Okay, $5 an hour. Suddenly I was silent. Something had changed. The offer was too big and ridiculous. Not many grown ups in 1956 made more than that. But quickly my temptation disappeared and calm set in. Slowly I turned to my left to look at Mike. He looked back at me. The part of my soul that was weak and needy was silenced. The part of me that had no price to cover. I knew Mike had gotten to that point too. Good, rich dad said softly. Most people have a price, and they have a price because of human emotion named fear and greed. First, the fear of being without money motivate us to work hard, and then once we get that paycheck, greed or desire start us thinking about all the wonderful things money can buy. The pattern in then said, "What pattern?" I asked. Once again, actually, I'm looking so chomo at that moment, but okay, fine. In few days, I will recover it. Okay. So I start reading. What pattern? I asked. The pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills. People's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. Offer them more money and they continue the cycle by increasing their spending. This is what I call the rat race. There is another way, Max asked. Yes, said Rich Dad slowly, but only a few people find it. And that is what and what is that way? Mike said. Mike asked. And what is that way? Mike asked. That's what I hope you guys will learn as you work and study with me. That is why I took away all forms of pay. Any hints? Mike asked. We are kind of tired of working hard, especially for nothing. Well, the first step is telling the truth, said Rich Dad. We haven't been lying, I said. I did not say you were lying. I said to tell the truth, which dad retorted. The truth about what? I asked. How are you feeling? Rich dad said. You don't have to say it to anyone else, just admit it to yourself. You mean the people in the park, the people who works for you, Mrs. Martin, they don't do that? I asked. You mean the people in the park, the people who work for you, Mrs. Martin, they don't do that? I asked. I doubted it, said Rich Dad. Instead, they feel the fear of not having money. They don't confront it logically. They don't confront it logically. They, re- they react emotionally instead of using their heads. Rich dad said. Then they get a few bucks in their hand, and again the emotion of joy, desires, and greed take over. And again they react instead of thinking. So their emotions control their brain, Mike said. That's correct, Rich dad. Instead of admitting the truth about how they feel, they react to their feelings and fail to think. They feel the fear, so they go to work, hoping that money will soothe the fear, but it doesn't. It continues to haunt them and they return to work, hoping again and that money will calm their fears. And again it doesn't. Fear keeps them in this trap of working, earning money, working, earning money, hoping the fear will go away. But every day they get up and that old fear wake up with them. For millions of people, that old fear keeps them awake all night, causing a night of turmoil and worry. So they get up and go to work, hoping that a paycheck will kill that fear gnawing at their soul. Money is ruining their lives, and they refuse to tell the truth about that. Money is in control of their emotion and their soul. Rich Dad said quietly, letting his words sink in. Mike and I heard what he said but didn't understand fully what he was talking about. I just knew that I often wondered why grown up hurried up to work. I didn't I did not seem like much fun and they never looked that happy. But something kept them going. Realizing Realizing we had absorbed as much as possible of what he was talking about, Rich Dad said, I want you boys to avoid that trap. That is really what I want to teach you, not just to be rich, because being rich does not solve the problem. It doesn't, I asked, surprised. Not, it doesn't. Let me explain the other emotion, desire. Some call it greed, but I prefer desire. It's perfectly normal to desire something better, prettier, more fun, or more exciting. Exciting. So people also work for money because of desire. They desire money for the joy they think it can buy. But the joy that money brings is often short-lived, and they soon need more money for more joy, more pleasure, more comfort, and more security. So they keep working, thinking money will soothe their souls that are troubled by fear and desire. But money cannot do that. Even rich people do this, Mike asked. Rich people included, said Rich Dad. In fact, the reason many rich people are rich isn't because of desire, but because of fear. They believe that money can eliminate the being of fear that They believe that money can eliminate the fear of being poor, so they amass tons of it, only to find the fear get worse. Not they fear losing the money. I have friends who keep working even though they have plenty. I know people who have millions who are more afraid now than they were poor. They terrified of losing it all. They fears the drove them to get rich got worse. That weak and needy part of their soul is actually screaming louder. They don't want to lose the big horses, the cars, and the high life money has bought them. The worry about what the friends would say if they lost all their money. Many are emotionally desperate and neurotic, although they look rich and have more money. So is a poor man happier? I asked. No, I don't think so, replied Richard. The avoidance of money is just as a psychotic as being attached to money. As if one cue, the tone derelict went past our table, stopping by the large rubbish can and rummaging around in it. The three of us watched him with great interest, when before we probably would have just ignored him. Rich Dad pulled a dollar out of his wallet and gestured to the older man. Seeing the money, that derelict came over immediately, took the bill, thanked Rich Dad profusely, and hurried out, exciting with the good fort- fortune. He's not much different from most of my employees, said Rich Dad. I have met so many people who say, "Oh, I am not interested in money," yet they will work at a job for 8 hours a day. That's Daniel of truth. If they were not interested in money, then why they were working? If they are if they were not interested in money, Then why are they working? That kind of thinking is probably more psychotic than a person who hoard money. As I sat there listening to my reader, my mind flashed back to the countless time my own dad said, I am not interested in money. He said those words often. He also covered himself by always saying, I work because I love my job. So what do we do? I asked. Not work for money until all trace of fear and guilt are gone. No, that would be a waste of time, said Richard. Emotions are what make us human. The word emotion stands for energy in motion. Be truthful about your emotions and use your mind and emotions in your favor, not against yourself. Oh, said Mike. Don't worry about don't worry about what I just said. It will make more sense in the years to come. Just be a, just be an observer, not a reactor to your emotions. Most people don't know what it's their emotions, what are doing the thinking. Your emotions are your emotions, but you have got to learn to do your own thinking. Can you give me an example? I asked. Sure, I replied, rich dad. When a person say I need to find a job, it's most likely an emotions doing the thinking. Fear of not having money generates that thought. But people don't need if but people don't But people do need money if they have bills to pay. I said, sure, they do, smiled Richard. All I am saying is that it's fear that is all too often doing the thinking. I don't understand, said Mike. For example, said Rich that if the fear of not having enough money arises, instead of immediately running out to get a job, they instead might ask themselves this question: will a job be the best solution to this fear over the long run? In my opinion, the answer is no. A job is really a short term solution to a long term problem. But my dad is always saying, stay in schools and get good grades so you can find a safe, secure job. I interjected, somewhat confused. Yes, I understand. He say that, said Rich Dad, smiling. Most people recommended that, and it's a good path for most people. But people make that recommendations primarily out of fear. You mean my dad said that because he's afraid? Yes, said Rich Dad. He he's terrified that you don't earn enough money and wouldn't fit into society. Don't get me wrong. He loves you and want to he loves you and wants the best for you. I too believe an education and a job are important, but it wouldn't handle the fear. You see, that seems fear that makes him get up in the morning to earn a few bucks in the fear that is causing him to be a fanatical about your going to school. So what do you recommend it? I asked. I want to teach you to master the power of money instead of being afraid of it. They don't teach that in our schools, and if you don't learn it, you become a slave to money. It finally making sense. He wanted us to widen our views and so and to see what the Mrs. Martins of this world couldn't see. He used examples that sounded cruel at the time, but I have never forgotten them. My vision wandered, my vision widened that day, and I began to see the trap that lay ahead for most people. You see, we're all implies ultimately. We just work at different levels, said Rich Dad. I just want you guys to have a chance to avoid the trap caused by those two emotions, fear and desire. Use them in your favor, not against you. That's what I want to teach you. I am not interested in just teaching you to make a pile of money that wouldn't handle the fear or desire. If you don't first handle fear and desire, you get rich. You will If you don't first handle fear and desire and you get rich, you will only be a highly paid slave. So how do we avoid that trap? I asked. There is mosquito. That's why I'm doing like that. So okay. So we avoid the trap? I asked. Sorry. So how do we avoid the trap? I asked. The main cause of poverty or financial struggle is fear and ignorance, not the economy or the government or the rich. It's self-inflicted fear and ignorance that keep people trapped. So you guys go to a schools and get your college degree, and I will teach you how to stay out of the trap. The piece of the puzzles were appearing. My highly educated dad had a great education and a great career, but should but school never told him how to handle money or his fear of it. It became clear that I could learn different and important things from two fathers. So you have been talking about the fear of not having money. How does the desire for money affect our thinking? Mike asked. How did how did you feel when I tempted you with a pay rise? Did you notice your desire rising? You nodded. We nodded our heads. By not giving in to your emotions, you were able to delay. By not giving in to your emotions, you were able to delay your reactions and thinking. That is important. We will always have emotions of fears and greed. For here only it's imperative for you to use those emotions to your advantage and for a long term to not let your emotions control your thinking. Most people use fear and greed against themselves. That's the start of ignorance. Most people live their lives chasing paychecks, pay rise, and job security because of the emotions of desires and fear, not really questioning where those emotion drive thoughts are leading them. It's just the picture of donkey dragging a cart with its owner dangling a carrot just in front of its nose. The donkey's owner may be going where he wants, but the donkey is chasing an illusion. Tomorrow there will only be another carrot for the donkey. You mean the moment I picture a new baseball glove, candy and toys, that's like a carrot to a donkey? Mac asked. Yes, as you get older, your toys get more expensive. A new car, a boat, and a big house to impress your friends, said Rich Dad with a smile. Fear pushes you out the door, and desire calls to you. That's the trap. So, what's the answer? Mike asked. That intensifies fear and desire is ignorance. That is why rich people with lots of money often have more fear the richer they get. Money is the carrot, the illusion. If the donkey could see the whole picture, it might rethink its choice to chase the carrot. This dad want on to explain that a human's life is a struggle between ignorance and illuminance. He explains that once a person stops searching for information and self-knowledge, ignorance sets in. That struggle is a moment-to-moment decision to learn to open or close one's mind. Look, look, look. A school is very important. You go to schools, learn a skills or profession to become a contributing member of society. Every culture needs teacher, doctor, mechanics, artist, cook, business people, police officers, firefighters, and soldiers. A school train them so society can thrive and flourish, said Rich Dad. Unfortunately, for many people, a school in the end, unfortunately, for many people, a school is the end, not the beginning. There was a long silence. Rich Dad was smiling. I didn't comprehend everything he said that day. But as with most great teachers, his word continued to teach for years. I have been a little cruel today, said Rich Dad. But I wanted you to always remember this talk. I want you to always think of Mrs. Martin. And I want you always to remember the donkey. The donkey. Never forget that fear and desire can lead you into life's biggest trap. If you are not aware of them controlling your thinking, to spend your life living in a fear, never exploring your dreams, is cruel. To work hard for money, thinking that it will buy you things that will make you happy is also cruel. To wake up in the middle of the night terrified about paying bills is a horrible way to live. To live a life dictated by the size of paychecks is not really living a life. Thinking that a job makes you secure is lying to yourself. That's cruel and that's the trap. I want you to avoid them. I have seen how money runs people's lives. Don't let this that happen to you. Don't let that happen to you. Please don't let money run your life. A softball rolled under your table. Rich dad picked it up and threw it back. So what does ignorance have to do with greed and fear? I asked. Because it is ignorance about money that causes so much greed and fear, said Rich Dad. Let me give you some example. A doctor wanting more money to better provide for his family raise his fees. By raising his fees, it a doctor wanting a doctor wanting more money to better provide for his families raise his fees. By raising his fees, it make health care more expensive for everyone. It hurts the poor people the most. So they have worse health than those with money because the doctors raise their fees. The attorney raise their fees because the attorney's fees have gone up. School teachers want a rise which rise our taxes and on and on and on. So there will be such a horrifying gap between the rich and the poor that chaos will break out and another great civilizations will collapse. History proved that great civilization collapse when the gap between the haves and have-nots is too great. Sadly, America is on that same course because we haven't learned for history from history. We've only memorized historical date and names, not the lessons. Okay. In an educated society with a well-run government, price should actually go down, of course. That is often only true in theory. Prices go up because of greed and fear caused by ignorance. If a school taught people about money, there would be more money and lower price. But a schools focus only on teaching people to work for money, not how to harness money's power. But don't we have business model? Mike asked, and haven't you encouraged me to go for my MBA? Yes, sir, said Rich Dad. But all to obtain business schools train employees to become a, a sophisticated bean counters. Heaven forbid a bean counter takes over a business. All they do is look at the numbers, fire people, and kill the business. I knew this because I hire bean counter. All they think about is cutting cost and raising price, which cause more problems. Bean counting is important. I wish more people knew it, but it too is not the whole picture, added Rich Dad angrily. So is there an answer? Asked Mac. Yes, said Rich Dad. Learn to use your emotion to think, not think with your emotion. When you boys mastered your emotion by agreeing to work for free, I knew there was hope. When you again resist your emotions, when I tempted you with more money, you were again learning to think is in a spite of being emotionally charged. That's the first step. Why is why is that a step so important? I asked. Well, that's up to you to find out. If you want to learn, I will take you guys into the barrier patch, a place almost everyone else avoid. If you go with me, you will let go of the idea of working for money and instead learn to have money work for you. And what will we get if we go with you? And what will we get if we go with you? What if what if we agree to learn from you? What will we get? I asked. The same things Brave Rabbit got, said Rich Dad, referring to the classical children's story. Is there a barrier patch? I asked. Yes, said Rich. The barrier patch is our fear and greed, confronting fear, weakness, and neediness. But choosing our own thoughts is the way out. Choosing our thoughts make us puzzled. Yes, choosing what we think rather than reacting to our emotions instead of just getting up and going to work because not having the money to pay our bills is scaring you as yourself. As I'm thinking to take rest, is working harder at this the best solution to this problem? Most people are too afraid of to rationally thinking think things through and instead run out the door to a job they hate. The tar baby is in control. That's what I mean by choosing our thoughts. And how do we do that, Mike asked. That's what I will teach you. I will teach you to have a choice of thoughts rather than a knee-jerk reactions, like gulping down your morning coffee and running on the door, on running out the door. Remember what I said before. A job is only a short-term solution to a long-term problem. Most people have only one problem in mind, and it's short-term. It is the bills at the end of the month, the tar baby. Money control their lives, or should I say the fear and ignorance about money controls it. So they do as their parents did. They get up every day and go work for every day. They get up every day and go work for money, don't taking the time to ask the question, is there another way? Their emotions now control their thinking, not their heads. Can you tell the difference between emotion thinking and the head thinking? Mike asked. Oh, yes, I hear it all the time, said Richard. I hear things like, well, everyone has to work, or the rich are crooks, or I will get another job. I deserve this rise. Oh, yes, I hear it all the time, said Richard. I hear things like, well, everyone has to work, or the rich or crooks, or I will get another job. I deserve this rise. You cannot push me around, or I will, or I lack the job because it's secure. No one asks, is there something I am missing here? Which would break through the emotional thoughts and give you time to think clearly. As we headed back to the store, Rich Dad explained that the rich really did make money. They did not work for it. They went on to explain that when Mike and I were casting 5-cent piece out of lead, thinking we were making money, we are very close to thinking the way the rich think. The problem was that creating money is legal for the government and bank to do, but illegal for us to do. There are legal way to create money from nothing, he told us. Rich Dad went Rich Dad went on to explain that the rich know that money is an illusion, truly like the carrot for the donkey. It's only out of fear and greed that the illusion of money is held together of billions of people who believe that money is real. It's not. Money is really made up. It is only because of the illusion of confidence and the ignorance of the masses that this house of cards stands. He talked about the gold standards He talked about the gold standard that America was on, and that each dollar bill actually a silver certificate. What concerned him was the rumor that he would someday. What concerned him was the rumor that we would someday go over the gold stands and our dollar would no longer be backed by something tangible. If that happens, why all hell will break loose. The poor, the middle class, and the ignorant will have their lives ruined simply because they will continue to believe that money is real and that the company they work for or the government will look after them. We really did not understand what he was saying that day, but over the year it made more and more sense. Seeing what other miss, seeing what others miss. The next topic of the first chapter, and after that the first chapter and summary will complete it tomorrow in the daytime. After that I will read next chapter from next day. Second chapter, second lesson. Yeah, we can say chapter 2 of second lesson. Chapter 2, second lesson second. What is financial literacy? This is the next chapter, the long one. Okay, so no need to worry. As I'm going to tell what I have done today. As I wake up at approx 10 a.m., then I firstly I wake up at 10 a.m. Then I got fresh ups and I buy my new brush and then I brush up and I take breakfast. After that, I start reading means our books, academic books, and doing some other tasks like Google Archive programs that I was doing from last 1 month. So I want to complete that because this is the crucial time for me. Because if I done that targets, then I have not worked for 4 months again. So that's why I'm doing hard for that. And from 10 a.m. to 4, 5, 6 minutes from last complete day, I was doing same things, and at in between that for 2 hours break, while have done haircuts and meeting with friends, and I have one meeting, social meeting there. I have to attend that. So I cut the hair approx 1 hours, means 30 to 30 minutes it take and cut like that. So as they cut good, but as my hair is balded from here, so that's why it's look not good. But yeah, it's okay. As I'm not handsome like the other guy, so I have to accept that. And and in the evening, as today is one program in Durga Puja pandals where every what I say Mohalla had performed their performance in that Thakur Bari. So today is our colony's program. So I have to go there, and there I met. Firstly, I met with our society's people. So they are going to perform the characters. They are made Sangal Bhagwan's and other characters. I met there. I have helped some little bit means for approx 10 minutes. I was there. Then I go outside and meet one of my old friends, schoolmates, classmates, class kumars, and their other friends as well. My childhood friend Santosh and one my student, yeah, you can say a student, Sasi. He is my friend's brother, and I teach him in our in coaching. So that's why whenever he say Sasi bhaiya, I padhai was like that. So he was making jokes with me, and I was compatible with all those guys because it's okay to fan. Sometimes you have to be normal. So after spending this 10 to 20 minutes with them, then I went. I met with my friends. Uh, who was there? Ravi and Lalans. Then I went with their home, the Ravi's home, from where we can see the whole drama that's going to happen today. So I went to the top floor of the Ravi's house. There we were watching the drama and also enjoying talking with friends, how was going, where what are you doing, like that. And other friends was watching drama, someone watching drama and someone watching Asia Cup, as India has won the Asia Cups. So that's the great things for India, and I hope at that moment I will post one community post for India, so that will make professional for our channel. Okay, okay, guys. As this is the whole day I have done, and at the last time, what after completing all those things, I went the Akash. I left our friends to their homes as I am doing same things from last 12 to 13th year, means at when I was in second or third class. From that day I was doing same things. I left my friends to their home and I came back alone at every day, means every single year in Durga Puja, as I am going to elder, means mature and mature enough, so that's why I'm not doing same things for whole day, means as I was in our college. So I have this when I came today. So from today onwards till mm fair, means Mela, that day I have to left, means drop drop them to their house. Then I will return to our home because I am mature one. I mean, not mature, but yeah, I can say like that. Yeah, I'm close one, and I'm handling all the groups, trying to get together with each others, and making up big groups. So that's things I'm doing from since last 13 to 14 years. So I had no fear to coming at late night, as when I was in second that's then time that time, that dramas and things happens till 4 or 3 a.m. and the whole road was silent. At that time I came alone, so I have no fear of coming alone at that time. So that the whole things I was done today, and meeting with Suprabhat, Jack, Kisan, Akash, that's my junior. As when we meet, he wishes me, and yeah, some other friends was there. That makes me happy. As after a long time, I see them, and yeah, I have 2 or 3 days more here, and then I will go back to our college and where I have to study it and practicing for questions for our gate exams and all. So okay, it's all about today, and I'm going to wind up this season, and from next day I will be more prepared and I will do that's the things I promised to you guys. Okay, see you tomorrow. Good night.